But they have the sun, the power of the sun, and they control it. So now they can choose when to use that light, inside, outside. The simple task of just in the middle of the night going to your toilet, which is outside, you know, and you might fall in, and now it's something that's much easier to do.
And this is charged by something like this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is our
so
solar
how does that
panel.
work? That's just that's a solar panel, basically, right?
Yes, that's a solar panel, and
just
basically you
connect
charge
it
it during the day.
And how long does it need to be exposed?
About 6 to 8 hours a day, I would say.
You put it out the whole day because what we tell people is the sun is your electricity. So yan yung kuryente mo. This is what captures it.
Okay.
The electricity then goes into a battery.
Okay.
The battery is your alcansya.
Okay.
So you always charge it, so you're always keeping the battery full.
Right.
Right. And then if it's charging, you see it lights up, and then we have a indicator here, so you can know if it's low batter or not.
All right. And the battery inside that device, how many cycles can that go? And as you mentioned, how many? Given that, how many years can you estimate that this will live?
Yeah, this one will last. The battery should last you anywhere from 3 to 5 years, depending on how well you care for it.
Okay.
And then they can replace it again, getting it from our community partners. It'll cost them about 400 pesos to replace it.
Okay. Where was this made? I mean, and who put this technology together?
Yes, this is a company called Sun Transfer, which is actually owned 100% by our foundation.
Oh, okay.
So a German foundation designed this, and we set up a company to make it. It's made now in Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, and we're about to start production in the Philippines.
All right. And the bulb that it uses, is there any fear of the bulb dying out that you need to replace the bulb itself?
This bulb is rated for about 20 years.
20 years.
It's the latest LED technology from a company called Cree, which is an American company. So it's the most advanced company. It's only 1 watt. It gives you 100 lumens for 1 watt. That's why the whole system can be small, and the smaller the system, the more affordable.
Okay.
So we're trying to balance the affordability and the functionality, and of course the durability. This will last a long time.
You know, when you were holding that up, I was looking at this part here that says the DC 5-volt out. I can imagine the other things that it can power aside from a cell phone. I mean, looking ahead, you did mention, Philippe, about internet. In a few years down the line, could be sooner than later, tablets will be really, really cheap.
Yes.
And they could have, a tablet for less than $100 that they could save up for as well and have internet in their homes, right?
Right. In fact, this is our smallest system. We do have larger
there
systems.
There are bigger ones,
yes.
Okay.
So for larger applications, so people would need a radio, they need a TV, we have karaoke, but we actually have solar computers as well, which were made by a very innovative guy in Hong Kong.
Okay, so it's like the small laptops, like the netbooks?
No, it's actually like an iMac. This would be a desktop. It's a 17-inch screen loaded with software.
Wow, but it's solar charged.
Solar charged.
So there's a panel sitting out
we got a
the
panel,
house
we've
all
got
day,
a battery. Correct.
And it charges the whole day, and then it can last through the night.
So we're working with one of our partners, GK, to put together a full-fledged solar center. We'll have 10 computers, we'll have charging stations. In some of their homes, they'll be completely solar already. We even have solar refrigerators.
Solar refrigerators. Yes. Okay, the irony, the heat charging, the cold, okay.
Yung maganda dyan, yung mahihirap, may solar na, yung sa Makati wala pa. So the poor are getting the best technology.
I know.
And they're living in a more environmental way.
I'm already thinking I want one of these things. What areas are you looking at tapping first? I mean, you've already been doing your work as of now, right? But moving forward, what areas are you targeting now? What areas are in full swing of, as in moving into them and setting up these places, as I said, like libraries, right?
Yes. Well, for the foundation, we're working on solar villages. What we would like is that the families don't stop just at light, because they need more than just light.
Right.
So we have additional technologies. The problem is that they tend to be more expensive, of course. So we're trying to find ways that we start with a village, and over time, everyone has more and more of the products. So the foundation is very important, but even more important are our local community partners.
Right.
People like GK, people like Habitat, People like, we work with microfinance organizations like CARD, ASKI, and actually cooperatives. You know, there are many cooperatives that are working in the communities.
Okay.
So we find a way now to actually set up a revenue collection mechanism.
Right.
It becomes like a little electric company at the village level. And once you have electricity, you can also have water. Right? That's the other big problem, is clean water.
Right, as well.
So that's what the foundation becomes, like a public service utility, working with the community.
So there are GK and habitat communities out there in the forest areas that don't have electricity?
Well, typically they have electricity right now. They haven't been able to go farther because they haven't had solutions.
Okay.
So now that we have solutions, we'll be able to go further.
Now
so we're setting it up more as, I would say, demonstration centers, closer in, where we can work and research. And we have summer interns coming in. And we're going to do everything solar, no electricity connected, so we can work it out.
Okay.
By the time we bring it to the communities, kailangan planchado na.
Okay. So how do you guys target getting help for this? Philip, do you go out to those communities and look for people within the area, let's say that particular province, and say, hey, are you aware that this little island just 10 minutes off your shore has no electricity? Would you like to help them out? Or do you have a specific way of targeting how help comes in?
Actually, as Jim was saying, we exclusively work with social partners.
Okay.
So usually we discuss with them, we identify those who are in pole electrified areas, and they are the ones that know the communities very well, and they are the ones that tell us where we can help the most. And this is why usually we pilot our systems and then later expand from
We've
this area.
met many amazing organizations that are doing work in the field, and what we find is that they need solutions. They see the problems, but how do we provide electricity? So they're very hungry for this kind of stuff. So when we find the right partner that's like-minded, that's socially oriented, that wants to help, but who also knows that there needs to be a sustainable model. So therefore we have to set up some kind of revenue mechanism. Those are the guys that we partner with. And then what happens is they know other, it's an amazing network among the NGOs. So what we do is they then introduce us to their friends, and then that's how we've been expanding.
It's just been spreading like that.
It's been spreading like that.
I was reading up on the information about, aside from there, 1 out of 4 Filipinos, or as you said, 26% do not have electricity. Sometimes it may come to mind that, oh, well, they choose to live in the boondocks, and they are, some may see them as an insignificant part of society because they just do their own thing, and they do their fishing just for their own livelihood and their own sustainability. But apparently they are 30+% of our workforce and provide 20% of our GDP. That's how significant this 26% is.
Yes. Yeah, I think that group cannot be ignored, whether it's economically, but also culturally.
Right.
These are indigenous people. These are what the Filipinos are all about. And we're fishermen. We're farmers. We work the land. So the issue that they have is access. They don't have access to the markets. They don't have good access to electricity, to clean water. So what we do, we work with people who are providing that access in a sustainable way. Historically, as business, we said, well, that's the problem of government. That's the problem of the NGOs. And they're doing their work, but we all know it's not enough. So somehow business has to come in, the markets have to come in. And so what we're doing is we're enlisting people, enlisting help to say, help us reach out to them. That's where the donations come in. The donations enable us to put the products in the field. People see it, they say, hey, I want to buy it. And then from there, you can connect them to the market.
All right. Well, let's get on now to the ride, as you're calling it, the Ride for Light. And you're one of the riders, right, Philip?
Yes,
he's our ride commander.
Ride commander. Now, of all the places to ride around, you've seen the bikes, the bicycles that go around long distances, but around the Philippines, basically you're going around the perimeter, right, of the whole country. We saw a map. We can flash it later. But tell us about how you guys put together the idea for this long ride.
Yeah, as I said, I have been using motorcycles to basically deliver, basic services and electricity. There was the dream of doing the 8 of the Philippines, figure 8, which if you show the maps, you can see the maps. The North Luzon Loop is the first part of the 8, and then you go down via Bicol, Samar, Leyte, and then Surigao, Davao, you have to go south, and then Zamboanga, and then going up the other way via nautical highway, through Dipolog and Negros and Panay and Mindoro, basically. So that's like a figure 8 of the Philippines, which includes Muslim Mindanao. Obviously, the symbol of the rides is to reach out to people. Right. And my most anticipated stops are actually one of the closest, which is one is in Botolan, where they have a biochar activity, so the ride will be carbon negative. And the second nearby is the Bachao people, 70 families living under the bridge in Apalit, in Barangay Sulipan. And the other one is the furthest, which is Zamboanga, because I've never been there, never ridden there. So I love the idea of discovering my adopted country on the way with the IPs and the biodiversity sites, some of them endangered. And we will raise awareness about it. So, basically, we'll cover the whole countries, the coastal, the mountains, the Christian, the Muslims, the IPs.
Amazing. So, well, tell us about some of the two riders that you'll be riding with as well.
So that's Iba, Razul Bernardo. So he's actually a Muslim, and he's the geek.
Okay.
He has a few cameras on his helmets, and he has a solar panel on his top case where he's charging all his gadgets.
All right.
And he's also socially inclined. He has a certain number of advocacies, and he's a good friend. So that will be, he will be documenting the trip.
And the other one is?
And the other one is Antonio Villanueva, who is a rider. I think he knew how to ride a bike before walking.
Okay,
yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, he's that good. And he also comes with me, because our social partners are microfinance, they have a lot of loan officers, and they will also have to travel a lot. They use motorcycles and they have accidents, and it's a problem. So we actually teach safe riding, motorcycle safe riding clinics to our partners, and Toto is the one that actually does it with me.
Okay, so aside from this, this you can put it a bit of an exhibition and really gathering attention because of the distance of your ride. How many stops are you going to be stopping at, and what are you going to do at those particular stops?
We have about 40 stops, which are communities where there is a social partner. And now the stops have been chosen either because of the representative of the community, so Christian, Muslims, IPs, or biodiversity sites which are maybe endangered. Okay. So we'll meet the communities, we'll visit their sites, we'll donate to the social partners some solar home systems or solar lanterns like the one we have given you, and then the social partner will decide how to best use the lamps for the communities. Just similar to what Jim actually explained earlier. So we'll have like 40 stops along the way.
And how many hours per day will you be riding?
Sometimes quite a lot because of the stops, right? So sometimes we leave at 4 in the morning and finish.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite intense.
And this starts tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Starts tomorrow. So how have you prepared?
Tomorrow.
How have the three of you prepared for this?
I don't know. I started early because, as I said, I've been riding motorcycles for a social cause for quite a while, and physically also I prepare myself. I think, basically prepare physically and then ride the bikes, and then a lot of plannings on the events. But with the team that we put together with Jim, we basically planned everything in 2 months, actually.
Yeah, so there's the technical side. All of the bikes will have GPS transponders, so they'll be able. If you go to our website, you'll be able to follow the riders.
Oh, cool.
Each rider and the van will have a website, so if Philip gets lost, we'll know where he is.
Okay, at least,
So that's kind of the technical side, and Iba's been taking care of that. His nickname on the team is the Geek.
The Geek.
Toto's been fixing all the bikes, getting them prepared. He's the mechanic, and he's known as the Wizard because he can fix anything.
Okay.
And of course, Philip as the ride commander, and being French, he's the Legionnaire.
Great.
Now on our side, I told Philip just focus on the ride, focus on making sure that